Hi, my name is Mary Spender, and before we get into this video, I just want to let you know that I have added 2 new chapters to my fingerstyle guitar course for total beginners. So if you want to learn my songs Blues Duet and Meet Me in Croatia and you're brand new to the guitar, then I obviously recommend it. But otherwise, let's get into this video because I asked a few friends if you could have a drink with any musician, dead or alive, who would it be and what would you ask them? So here are their answers, but also don't forget to comment with your answer below.
Probably Paul McCartney. And I would ask Paul how they wrote, when they had time to write all these amazing songs in such a short window of time, essentially from really 64 to 70, 100, 200 songs that they wrote that were 99% of them were phenomenally great songs. And it blows my mind that, when did they do this? They were uber famous. How could they focus on doing this? And I've always been fascinated by that. So, yeah. I mean, it's just, I always obsess about that. I know how hard it is to write a song, let alone write so many phenomenally great songs. And I mean, I would say the same thing if I met Mick Jagger and Keith Richards and Pete Townsend and all the old school rockers that I grew up listening to that are still alive. There's not, we're losing them every day, but of the ones that are still living, there's many things I'd like to ask them, and that's why I try to do as many interviews on my channel as possible, especially with musicians that I really respect.
Jimi Hendrix. I would just want to sit there with him and I would just want to kind of ask him how's it going and see what happened after that. How's it going, man? And just see where it goes. I don't have a specific question for a guy like that. I want to see what he is like, because he is so mythicized amongst guitar players. And it would just, I'm a huge fan too. I think that would be probably the one. Yeah. Or John Frusciante would be the other one too, I think. Because he's also yeah, how's it going, man? And just see where that conversation leads. I don't have one specific question. Hey, what'd you do and what guitar did you use on this recording? No. Yeah, there's enough interviews with all these guys that you can kind of figure out a lot of those things. But I want the answer to the question that, what is this person really like? Who is this person? You know what I'm saying? I don't really want to have... I want to get to know the person as a person, not as that thing that they have put in the world and the rest of the world could see. I would just want to have a podcast with John Frusciante or Jimi Hendrix and just see how it goes.
All right, this one's tough for me.
Oh yeah.
I mean, because there's the obvious answer of any number of guitar heroes. But, with that, I feel like I would just end up talking about stupid guitar nerd stuff that, whatever. But I think I would want to sit down with Eric Clapton. And because I just feel like he has one of the most interesting stories in music. And my dad and I went to Crossroads Guitar Festival this past September because they don't do it every year, and it came up, and I had some friends that were playing, and so my dad and I have watched all those DVDs for years, and so we decided okay, let's go both nights of Crossroads. And the second night we were able to get backstage and watch the show from side stage, and Eric only came down for one person's set that whole night, and it was Vince Gill, which was one of the most badass show of force musicians sets I've ever seen. It was so good. Dude, the vocal harmonies in Vince Gill's band are so tight they sound like the record. Anyway, but Eric came down and he was standing basically right next to me and my dad. And I just was kind of sitting there looking at him and thinking, like, that man has had such an impact on music and has had such a prolific career as a musician in so many different iterations, right? Playing in Cream and then his solo career. And then, I mean, through the past basically 5 decades. I would want to talk to Clapton and just get his insight on being an artist. Dude, the first night of that Crossroads Festival, he came out and played an acoustic set like the Unplugged record, and he played a lot of the songs on that record, and I almost cried. Because I've literally been listening to the album my whole life. Since I was a newborn baby, my parents had that on tape, cassette tape in the car that we would listen to. And to hear them play that live, it was so powerful.
Does it have to be a musician? Can it be a writer?
It could be a writer, yeah.
Virginia Woolf.
Okay, what would you ask her?
Oh, what would I ask her? Oh my God, I have so many questions. Like, how often do you drink wine? No, I don't know. I'd probably ask her something way more like, I would have to prepare like a lofty question for her. Like something about like, how long did it take you? This is not lofty, but how long did it take you to write Mrs. Dalloway? When did you start it? When did you finish? What was your process? I can only learn so much from reading your entire collected journals. So I feel like I'd have a lot of questions for Virginia Woolf.
I'll just go with the answer that I would probably give the most. J.S. Bach. Yeah. I wouldn't really want to sit there and chat with him, though. I think I just want to sit with him at a table and just have tea or coffee or something and just observe him doing human things. That would be very interesting for me. Just very, he doesn't even need to talk.
Well, and also he wouldn't be aware of like how he's perceived now or like your understanding of him.
Yeah, I just want to see him, have a piece of toast or hang a towel or something just very normal.
Well, because he was I know he's an extraordinary, oh my God, like the most prolific musician ever, but just he was ordinary and he was kind of like deemed ordinary to a certain extent, right? So
exactly, if you read about just his life, I've been to I've been to Leipzig, where there's a museum, obviously, and where he used to work. And you see all of these artifacts. So you can, hypothetically put together a picture of, J.S. Bach, this ordinary family man that was an extraordinary, and that's really downplaying it, musician, just incredible. But I would just like to witness it.
Ooh, that's a really good one. That's a drink. Which could be tea, right? Doesn't have to be alcohol. Well, because I'm thinking like Paul McCartney, and I don't know if he drinks anymore. I'd love to have a pint with Paul McCartney. And of course I would ask him whatever. One, anything that comes out of his mouth, I'd probably just be hanging on every word because he's a Beatle. He's a Beatle. It's got to be him. Another guy who I know doesn't drink alcohol, who reached out to me, and now because of the coronavirus, I don't know what's going to happen, but a huge inspiration to me when I was a kid growing up, and it was my dad's music, is Cat Stevens. But so that'd be another one. But yeah, you can't top Paul McCartney. Did you say living or dead?
Living or dead. So that works.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking living because living was like, it feels like it's still possible. But dead, you would have fun with Jimi Hendrix.
Absolutely.
You would go out and have a really good time. I don't smoke cigarettes, so that might be an issue, but we would go out to a pub. We'd end up somewhere super late at night, jamming all night, and it would be It would be a good time. I know he would be fun.
Probably Michael Jackson. I know that's cliche, but I literally loved him when I was a teenager. I was obsessed with the Bad record. That was just awesome. And what would I ask him? Okay, that is another question. I mean, I would love to go on some of the rides in his house. That would be cool.
Is this not going down a dangerous avenue?
Maybe. What would I ask him? Maybe I'd ask him how to do the moonwalk.
Okay, yeah, no, that's good. That's good. That's good.
There we go. Yeah. So I don't know. I feel like I wouldn't go there. Just remember, there's this whole thing, isn't there, of like whether to just be, you like them for the music. Just think about it like that.
I think, oh my God, who would it be? Jimi Hendrix, maybe.
Yeah.
Jimi Hendrix. Yeah, because oh my God. And I also should have mentioned Jimi Hendrix previously. But I would have a drink with Jimi Hendrix. He was quite an interesting guy.
What would you ask him?
I would ask him how I don't know. I would ask him so many things. First, I'll ask him if he had a girlfriend, and then I would ask him.
I think he had many girlfriends.
Yeah, he had many girlfriends. I would ask him. I'll just ask him, are you interested in having like a serious relationship, Jimmy? Really? Like, stop this quit displaying around.
Okay. You know what? I think a lot of people are expecting me to say this, but it would have to be John Mayer. And I'm saying that because I wouldn't want to talk to him about guitar playing or singing. I would want to talk to him about like life, like, because he's a talker. He's a great talker, and he thinks a lot, and he's super smart. And I'm not a talker. And at interviews, I talk because that's what I'm supposed to do. But when I'm with my friends and with people, I'm the quiet one. So I couldn't have like a drink with Prince or Michael Jackson because I feel they would be like, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, okay. I feel they were more like, more like that. And then we would just be quiet. But with John Mayer, he can just talk and talk. And I would be like, everything you say is great.
I'd have like a lemonade with Victor Wooten. I wouldn't want to get drunk with Victor Wooten. I feel like he's way too classy. And I'd want to ask him about how his relationship with music has changed over his life. Like, he's a person who started playing music very, very young, and it seems like he's kept a very healthy relationship with music and his understanding of music up through his adulthood. And I just want to talk to him about how he feels about the music that he makes, which, that I'm sure I'll get a chance to ask him in person at some point. But that's something that I've always been interested in, like the relationship as a kid you have to music, to like a teenager, to a younger adult, to an older adult, and like how that has changed throughout his life.
Trust my